Hi everyone and welcome back to another Blu-ray slash DVD update video, and I guess this is number 3 now. And of course, yes, I didn't do one last month purely because I didn't really get much stuff, unfortunately. But yes, basically what I've done is I've combined the two, September and October, to just make a quick, well, maybe not quick, but a video kind of just going over what I've got recently. Picked up quite a few, over this last week. So yes, basically, we'll start off with Tarzan on Blu-ray. And this is, of course, I reviewed last month. I got it, around just before that, review, and yeah, loved it since I was a kid. I was a kid, and I think it's one of the most underrated, Disney films. I think there's only one film of the Renaissance that I've seen that I definitely prefer to this. I'm not going to say which, and yes, I think it is an absolute masterpiece for me personally. Absolutely love the film. Highly recommend it. The Blu-ray, of course, is stunning. Compare it to Sky, which I watched a lot of the stuff on Sky, the Disney films, and of course I will be going back to that. It's not, I've not cut it off. It's just, I've got so much I'm reviewing, it's kind of hard to do everything. But yes, the quality is just so much better, and it's just really a great watch, great experience this time around again. And Tarzan, absolutely love it. So a great addition, to quite a lot of animated films that I've got now on Blu-ray. So the next one, of course, is Fight Club, and this is probably the best film that I've seen for probably maybe since August, you could say, actually. Of course I've seen it before. It's a rewatch when I rewatched it a couple of weeks ago now. But yes, basically, Fight Club is one of the best films of all time for me. I don't imagine seeing a better Fincher film personally. I don't think I'll like any of the other ones more. But yes, who knows. And Fight Club, on Blu-ray is stunning, and it was one of the kind of earlier Blu-rays. You can kind of tell from the back, but yes, basically Fight Club, it is just such a masterpiece. And yeah, I watched it. Of course, I reviewed that. Check out that review if you want. And wow, what a stunning film! Essential, on Blu-ray. Kind of weird that I didn't have this until now, and it was quite cheap as well. So. Fight Club. Next up, another Fincher film, which came this week, or last week, and that is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Now this is still sealed. I'm not going to attempt to. I said I'll be doing some unboxings. I'll be doing that at some point, but to open these right now, the actual seal is going to be a bit of a struggle. I can never properly do it, so I won't bother doing that. But yes, this film has always intrigued me. I think. A lot of people don't like it. When you look at Fincher rankings, this is usually probably down the bottom, definitely, and not much people say call it a masterpiece. I wouldn't say, but basically the potential of this film, from what I've heard, kind of read up on, for what it's about, and the fact that it's a big epic, kind of Brad Pitt as well, and just. Something about it, has always intrigued me. It could turn out to be a film I absolutely adore. It could be one that I don't care for. I kind of would agree. Maybe then with a lot of people, but who knows? It's always intrigued me. The potential, for this, it could be one of my favourite Finchers. Who knows? Because there's a lot of films, that I've seen that have kind of like this within a director's work. That are completely different and maybe period pieces or stuff like that. Big epics that. I'm actually using my favourites, of the director, and they're usually not the most popular opinions, but this could be one of them. But again, it might not be. So, yeah, basically, it won 3 Oscars as well. So, yeah, I really look forward to this one. It's one that's really intrigued me for a long time. And Fincher, I have to kind of get the Blu-rays when I can because the visuals in this film, films are usually just stunning and yeah, essential. I believe, all Fincher films really. And next up, of course, I got this earlier than I would have done as well. But yes, I was always going to get it. The Artist, on Blu-ray. And again, this is it's mainly because I absolutely adore silent films. I really wanted to see this. I wanted to see it when it came out, and I've seen even more silent films since it came out. So even more hyped for this film. I think it won some Oscars, and. A lot of people have called it, overrated in recent years, but that could just be because it won some Oscars. But yeah, basically, I'm going to give this a go and see, because what I've, the images and stuff and what I've heard, it just looks like it could be a really stunning film. And yeah, it really does look like it could be great. And of course, not any silent films coming out now, so this is kind of my fix. But yes, basically I love silent films. You know, I kind of agree to an extent. You know, what a lot of directors and critics say. You know, Coppola, Scorsese, and stuff as well. Where they do, you know, kind of, you know, mention the fact that most of the cinematic, you know, language was kind of already there in the silent era, and then of course there's however much percentage, you know, since. I kind of agree with that, but of course, well, for me, the pinnacle really of the 20th century is a film made in 1975, which combines kind of a lot of silent cinema with just, you know, something completely different. And I won't say what that is, but you know, I think a lot of people can probably have guessed by now. But yes, basically, silent films, I do agree, you know, some of the very, very best films ever made. You know, for example, City Lights, and I absolutely just love silent films. You know, I think something so pure about them, and some of the very best films, you know, and of course Chaplin, one of my favorite directors, of course working here, you know, in that era. Murnau, you know, just absolutely stunning. Of course, I've not checked out a lot of silent cinema, including any feature films from Buster Keaton. I have seen some of his shorts, and you know, some of them I really liked. But yes, The Artist, I'll probably watch this quite soon actually, because I am really, really hyped for this. And yes, it should be really good on Blu-ray as well. Next, you know, is unfortunately DVD, but this director, you know, I have to kind of sometimes, unfortunately, get the DVD because not a lot of them, you know, are available on Blu-ray, or at least within a price range and availability. And that is one of my top 10 directors. This is an Ozu set, and it is 3 melodramas, and it's DVD. And again, this is still sealed. Woman of Tokyo, Early Spring, and of course Tokyo Twilight, which is the one that I look forward to the most. And yeah, of course, Ozu is in my top 10 directors. I think he is probably the best Japanese director of all time, and that's kind of, you know, that's maybe not the best way to put it. Full stop, he's just one of the very best. But yes, for me, you know, if you know, some people say Kurosawa, you know, Miyazaki, I think could be close, you know, at times, but I've not seen, of course, a lot of Mizoguchi's enough to kind of say, but so far, no, definitely not as good. But Ozu for me, you know, is definitely at the moment my favourite Japanese director, and these films, you know, I look forward to all of them, especially, of course, Tokyo Twilight. It just looks like a great film, and very, very different, you know, from what Ozu done. You know, it's a very, very dark one meant to be, and yeah, I just really, really look forward to it. You know, I think, you know, the DVD set was fairly cheap, you know, and if I got them individually on Blu-ray, it would have been a lot more, and I don't think actually, you know, they're all really available on Blu-ray, so yes, this is essential for me. I don't care, you know, as much when it comes to DVD with Ozu, because the fact is I can't really get them on Blu-ray, all of them, so, you know, I have to kind of get in the mindset, you know, that I won't be watching as good quality, but, you know, who knows, in the future, maybe we'll get, you know, a massive set of Ozu films on Blu-ray, remastered, and then we can all be happy. But for now, this is one of the ones, you know, I own on DVD, and but still, watching these very, very soon, and of course reviewing them. Here we are as well. Yes, you know, another director, Scorsese. Now, the king of comedy. This film I've wanted to see since I was probably, you know, about 8 or 9 actually. It was really when I was fully aware, you know, and kind of seen, you know, a couple of Scorsese films then, you know, and then of course I saw Goodfellas a couple of years after that, you know, and it was just building up all these films that I loved from Scorsese. And I was, you know, always told that The King of Comedy is one of his best films by certain people that I know. And yes, you know, I just think I finally got it. I can finally review this fairly soon because I'm kind of in a director's series at the moment of Scorsese. And of course, you know, this is a comedy film, you know, meant to be a dark one, I think. And of course, it also has my favourite actor of all time in it, Robert De Niro. I think he is hands down the best actor of all time for me, and you know, even better than Jimmy Stewart. The King of Comedy just looks like it could be really great, you know. And of course, you know, things happened in this time. You know, we've kind of, yes, again, Heaven's Gate crops up. It kind of, you know, kind of changed a lot of, you know, filmmakers' careers around this time, but Scorsese basically went to making smaller pictures, you could say, more independent films again, you know, after Raging Bull, and this is one of them, and it's meant to be one of his finest, so yes, I wanted it on the Blu-ray because it's Scorsese, so yes. The King of Comedy, I really am looking forward to a lot. Next up, of course, is The Human Condition by Kobayashi. This one is a 9-hour epic, and of course, many have said, that they get put off by that and they don't want to see it. And that's one of the things that entices me the most actually about this. So set into 3 parts. I believe the third one is the most acclaimed. From what I've heard, it's called A Soldier's Prayer. And yes, basically, it's a 9-hour epic war film split into 3 parts. And yeah, I've not really looked into it too much because I don't want to get spoilers kind of thing, and I just want to go in unknown, kind of thing. But I know, it's meant to be, a big epic film, this very emotional war film, and of course, great cast as well. I just cannot wait for this film, and I will, try and probably watch it in the next 2 months, because this has always, intrigued me. And I've got Harakiri as well, so I might watch Harakiri first. Who knows? Probably I will watch Harakiri first, but this one, cannot wait for, and of course, Blu-ray as well. Next up, this is a film that I have seen. This is a rewatch, but I had to get it on Blu-ray because John Ford is just so visually, kind of, he's such a great visual director basically. And this one I saw and I was blown away by last year, and that is The Grapes of Wrath with Henry Fonda. Wow, I'm not going to ruin too much from my review, but this film really, was something else actually. I would highly recommend it, and it was just, wow, it was just such a good film, it's such a human one, and I have to see it on Blu-ray, it just have to have it in my collection. Of course, I reviewed The Searchers, and at the moment I do prefer The Searchers. I think that's the best film that I've seen. But this one really, it's very, very different, and it's great as well to see Henry Fonda, the kind of comparison between him and in that with Once Upon a Time in the West is striking, the range he has, and this was a very, very subtle performance, very, very subtle film, one of the most subtle I've ever seen, and it is a stunning one, and I cannot wait to rewatch this, so yes. And then we save the biggest till last, you could say, and that is the Clint Eastwood box set Blu-ray. Now this is, yes, 20 film collection, and it's quite a big one here. And this was reduced as well, so yeah, it comes with some films that he's been in just, but also films he's directed. So yeah, basically for the price range and everything, I think this was the best one to go for. Of course, the ones I look forward to the most that I've not seen, Mystic River, probably the most actually, you could say. $1 Million Baby, I've not seen that. I've heard very, very mixed things over the years, but again, it could be because of the Oscars. I'm not going to rule it out being great, because it is very acclaimed. And then Letters and Flags of Our Fathers, these two films here as well, meant to be great. Cannot wait for them. I have seen Gran Torino. I cannot wait to rewatch that. I love that film. And we've also got, of course, Pale Riders on there as well, but I've already got that. But yes, basically, I really look forward to watching/rewatching all of these films, and of course Clint Eastwood. I've done 2 of his reviews now, and I want to do more, of course. And that was Unforgiven and Pale Rider, 2 masterpieces for me. And yeah, it comes with some special features on here, and 3 different actual individual cases here, with the Blu-rays. And yeah, I just cannot wait, because Clint Eastwood is just one of my favourite individuals, in cinema. One of my favourite actors, very favourite actors. And from what I've seen, a master director. I didn't like American Sniper, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, it's not a massively popular film, So yeah, I didn't like that film really. Thought that was really, really far away from what Clint has done in the past, and so far his weakest that I've seen. Didn't like it, and I was very disappointed with that. But he is one of the best directors, that I've from what I've seen. And this set just looks. I cannot wait to get into it. It looks stunning. I'll probably have this on display as well from now on. Oh, of course, as well, the other one, I forgot to mention, A Perfect World, which he directed. Kevin Costner and Clint Eastwood teaming up after making some of the finest westerns just before this. Now that is a big film, and it's not a western. It's kind of, I think, a relationship film, a kind of road trip film. I've heard. But yes, that could be a one that I love as well. So yeah, this set looks amazing. Can't wait to get into it. And that is all that I've got to show. But I have also bought 2001: A Space Odyssey, on 4K, and that is getting opened at Christmas, and that's to myself. I sometimes do that. But yeah, I thought I'm not going to open everything now. I'm not watching Kubrick films, rewatching until next year anyway, when I do a massive director series for that. Of course, I've got already 2 copies of 2001: Space Odyssey, 3 copies actually. I've got it on DVD, but I never want to watch it on DVD. And now I've got 4 copies because I've got the 4K as well. But it's just that good, I think. Kind of, I think actually, I'll say it now. It is one of my very favourite films, and the visuals, top 5 visually, stunning films I've ever seen. I'd say 2 Kubrick films have actually got better cinematography than this film, but basically, yeah, the visuals in it, and it is just a perfect film for me. I think it's one of the very best. I have to own it on 4K. It's already the best looking Blu-ray that I've seen on the standard, so who knows what it's going to look like now on 4K. I just can't wait, and I'll have that to show. That'll be in December, of course, because I'll get it at Christmas. But that is everything for today. If there's any more that come in the next, after at the end of October, of course, they will be reviewed. Talked about in the November update video. But yes, thanks for watching, and of course, I look forward to watching all these films. And yeah, thanks for watching.